Welcome everyone to Explore the Unsolved with Melissa, where we dig into some of the most perplexing true crime mysteries that refuse to give us answers. And today, we'll delve into one of the most haunting, perplexing cases in all of Europe and Norway, the mysterious death of the Isdal Woman.
Like and subscribe.
In 1970, a woman's body was discovered in Isdal Valley, Norway, burned beyond recognition, her identity concealed, her final moments shrouded in secret. Despite decades of investigation, the case remains one of the most baffling mysteries in Europe. Was the Isdal woman a victim of espionage? Was something more sinister force? Was there a more sinister force at play? Or was there something more personal at the fact? Let's dive into the case that is the Isdal woman. It was all the way back in November 29th, 1970, when two hikers in Norway stumbled upon a charred body in the Isdal Valley near Belgium. The remains were badly burned, and the authorities were immediately faced with more questions than answers. The woman's identity was unknown. No ID, no wallet, no distinct marks. The body was partly covered with a coat and a backpack. The scene was eerily void of any sign of a struggle. What caught investigators off guard was the strange detailing surrounding the body. The woman had been burned alive. Her face disfigured beyond recognition. No clothing was left on her body, except for a pair of shoes. A few personal items were scattered nearby. Authorities found two suitcases in a nearby locker in Belgium railway station, empty except for a few items. One contained a variety of wigs, and the other, strange unmarked documents, passport, was nowhere to be found. But pieces of her clothing that were found, ranging from pants, shirts, trousers, etc., had their labels cut out. This marked the beginning, one of Norway's and one of Europe's most chilling unsolved mysteries. The woman became known as the Isdal Woman, after the valley where she was found. Investigators scoured the area and examined her physical features. She had dark hair, presumably had brown eyes, was around 5 feet 3, with a slight frame, and between the ages of 25 to 40. But no matches were found, and the case was unlike any other they have ever encountered. They also noted that the woman had dental work done, and this would indicate she probably came from a good family, as the dental work was pretty expensive. Breakthrough came with forensic scientists determined the woman had been poisoned before set on fire. Just traces of sleeping pills were found in her system, leading investigators to theorize that she was either unconscious or incapable when the fire was set. After it was determined through soot found in her airway and lungs that she was alive as she was bringing in the smoke and fire when the fire happened. But despite all of this, no one can identify her. Despite multiple people claiming to have seen the woman at hotels, shopping areas, whatever, no one knew her real name because she used fake names and had 9 passports with her, all with different names. And along with wigs. And people who met her described her as shy, revered, and spoke with an accent. One person did say that the woman claimed she was a businesswoman or saleswoman traveling away for business, and thought much of it. Nothing else. Another person noted that yes, she was trying to reveal, but she smelled like garlic. So that's odd. Now that's what is odd. She smelled like garlic during one of the few last days she was found alive. She was seen alive. Despite other people coming forward and having seen this woman, no one could identify her. This is when things took an even stranger turn. Her body was meticulously organized. Nothing about her death seemed accidental. Everything appeared planned and controlled. Her identity had been erased, intentionally hidden, which is a case of murder or something far darker. The original ruling on her death by investigators was this was a suicide, but due to the strange circumstances surrounding her death, many people did not buy it and believed she was a victim of homicide, a murder victim. So, what could possibly leading investigators to the suicide theory, while others believe it all points to a murder theory? Let's theorize a few theories as to why one theory makes more sense than the other. So who was the Isdal woman? Over the years, several theories have emerged. Today, we'll break them down. Number one, she was a spy theory, and many people believe that Isdal woman was a spy, possibly involved in international espionage. Some suggest that she was working for the Soviet Union during the Cold War, perhaps was a double agent. The Mercury documents found in her suitcase, the false identities, the cut-out clothing labels, all point to someone hiding their true identity. And this is when it gets weird. We are in the 1970s. We are in the Cold War era during this time where she was found. So was she killed by the Soviet Union because she betrayed them? Was she killed by enemy forces when discovered who she was after she showed something important? We don't know. It was noted that she was spotted with two men near the area where she was found, but yet no one could identify the men. They found the woman, but not the man. And, based on all encounters, nothing came out from this lead. But that's something to keep in mind. But what makes this theory even more complex is its connection to Francis Godard, the Swiss banker linked to espionage activities and known for his connection to Palestinian groups and intelligence agencies across Europe. Godard was active in 1972. Some believe the Isdal woman was part of a covert mission, possibly working for him, or involved in international intrigue tied to the Middle East. But, and this will all point, if you look at this case very closely, this does point to a woman being a spy, perhaps for some government agency. Theory 2 is the heavy water theory. Another theory suggests that the Isdal woman's death may be linked to Norway's role supplying heavy water to Israel in the 1970s, according to material for nuclear weapons production. Was she caught in the crosshairs of a nuclear arms race? Some research suggests that she was somehow involved in smuggling and gathering intelligence related to Norway's secret dealings. Once again, going back to the spy theory, was she caught by enemy agents who noticed what she was doing and decided to silence her? Or was she killed by people in Norway when she discovered the real motives and when threatened to expose the truth, they silenced her? Then there's the Palestinian Liberation Organization, or PLO connection. There's also speculation that the Isdal woman was tied to the Palestinian Liberation Organization. PLO. At the time, the PLO was in the process of organizing militant groups across Europe. It's possible that she was either helping coordinate operations or the victim of a botched mission. Some connection with European radical groups in her death just being cut off something in a larger political struggle. Well, let's go into other personal theories. Theory 4 is that the woman was suffering from mental illness. Now, this would make sense considering we're in the 1970s, and mental illness was not being taken in the best of respect, so to say. So, was she a woman in a mental breakdown or going through very high personal struggles? And was in the midst of a very bad break when she stopped taking her medicine or she stopped receiving medicine or help? Now, there's a couple of illnesses that point to this, but the most popular one could be schizophrenia or paranoid schizophrenia. Either way, if she had mental illness, though that's the more likely one she had. The other one could be multiple personality disorder or bipolar disorder. So those are a few mental illnesses she would have had, and combined with the way she died being in a weird way, she possibly just got, tired and just decided to take her own life. Theory 5 could be she's a victim of a random homicide, but I highly doubt this happened because considering all the evidence we have, the only way that this would make sense that someone killed her, drugged her, set her on fire, and then realized that this woman was more important than they originally thought, and took away any idea of identifying her so that they would not be caught in the crosshairs of an international incident. Now let's go back to the theory that has been brought forward by investigators and the one has been brought forward by authorities. The Isdal woman committed suicide. Now, to look at some of the evidence, it may point to a suicide. She was asleep, no identification, but there's no way she could have done it by herself. That's what's making people question that this was not a suicide, because she was already asleep when the pills hit her system, because they act quicker than the average drug. And more importantly, if she was already out of it or somewhat out of it, how could she set herself on fire? And why would she want no one to find her? It's quite simple, really. She maybe had help in her suicide. If you go back to the two men, and she got them, she was either highly stressed by her job, in any capacity, either in legal work or illegal work, made a mistake, and instead of facing the consequence of her action, knowing what would happen to her friends and family, she made the decision to end her life. She asked the men, she first stripped herself, turned the men to set her on fire, and then take all evidence of who she could be with her, so that her friends and family wouldn't face the consequences of her actions or mistake. Now, if she wasn't involved in espionage, spy, or government work, this wasn't a suicide, mental illness, or anything else. There were two other illegal activities she could have been found in. She could have been an art smuggler or a drug dealer. Drugs would actually make a little more sense since we are entering the 70s, and the 70s was when drugs started really popping up. Was she involved in the early stages of drug trading and made a mistake and then that cost her her life? But there might be another reason why she was set on fire. Keep in mind, people set on fire in the hopes of destroying DNA and hopes to destroy any evidence. Now, the fire did do that. Her body was badly burned, but yet her dental records were still there, and in the end, they were able to still get her DNA. Her DNA is now, in fact, in the system. Current updates of the case, other than her DNA being in system, but I don't know, it is unknown at this point, is point to genetic genealogists or in databases across Europe to see if they can find a potential relative or descendant or ancestor. And with isotope testing and combined with other factors, they believe testing showed that she most likely spent most of her childhood in Germany or France and had white skin. And she wrote in both German and French. Now, isotope testing still needs a little more time. They did do isotope testing to confirm she did DNA, but as of right now, she most likely spent her childhood in either Germany or France. That's not to say she's an immigrant who moved to that country when she was a child, but a majority of her life was spent between Germany or France, and they determined she was between 25 to 40 years old. So this is a woman either starting out their career or they're about to, or they're in the midst of their career. Either way, this woman would have had a career one point in her life. Despite numerous investigations, the identity of the Isdal woman remains a mystery to this day. Could the DNA testing hold the key? In recent years, advancements in genetic genealogy has brought new hope, and there's been calls to reopen the case. Could modern forensic science finally uncover the truth? We already uncovered a major case. I think the hope of this case could be solved could be the recent identity of the boy in the box in Pennsylvania in the United States. People have thought that this DNA, this boy's name was lost forever. But however, through intense DNA technology and the help of experts, they were able to find the boy in the box's name as Joseph Augustus Zorelli. Other James and John Does are getting their names back. So, can the same be done with the Isdal woman? The most chilling part in the mystery is that no one has come forward to claim that the Isdal woman's body. Was she truly alone in the world? Or was there a network of people involved who made sure no one found out who she really was? You would think friends or family would be looking for her, but she was never found. Where she never told anyone what she was really doing? Once again, world governments like to keep top secrets hidden. Is she a secret that a higher government is trying to keep? After discovering her body, police were faced with another overwhelming challenge, finding out who the Isdal woman was and how she ended up in the Road Valley. But the case was more complicated by an odd series of missteps in the investigation. The initial autopsy showed that the woman's cause of death was poison, with the presence of sleeping pills in her bloodstream. The burn suggests the body had been set alight post-mortem. But what struck investigators was the organization of the crime scene, the lack of blood in sight, the very placed suitcases. Bizarre clues led them to believe the Isdal woman's death wasn't an isolated incident, but part of a larger operation. So they were thinking maybe this isn't a one-time case. Maybe there's other victims out there that we don't know about or haven't found yet. So that's something you gotta keep in mind too. Despite the best efforts of local authorities who searched for months of making public appeals, they were unable to find any concrete leads. The lack of clear motive and the oddity of the case only fueled public speculation. In Belgium, locals were rattled by this mystery and soon dubbed the Ghost Woman of Isdal, a name that struck and symbolized how this case has haunted the region. Because we're almost entering almost 60. We still don't have a name. We still don't know what happened. But one thing's for sure. If she was part of a larger espionage organization, perhaps those who are responsible are still out there, watching, waiting, protecting the secret of the Isdal woman. And maybe, just maybe, we'll never know the full extent of her life or death or what really happened to her. Now let's go into my theory. Like I always say, I save my theories to the end. I believe this woman was a spy, either for Russia, Europe, Israel, just a spy. And I believe that either she made a mistake or her organization turned on her and killed her and went to extreme lengths using connections, money, whatever, to ensure that she will forever remain silent or to ensure that no one will know who she is to cover up their involvement in the crime. And they are still making sure that this woman is unsolved, not caring about her family, not caring this was a human being. There are definitely higher forces at play here that play a role in making sure that cases never get unsolved, cases never get solved, identities are never found. And I believe the Isdal Woman is that case. And if this is the case, then the tragedy remains. Her family will never know that she's missing, that they have her body, and nothing found. And what do you think happened? I want you to let me know down below in comments what you think happened. Thank you for joining us on this chilling journey into one of your most enduring unsolved cases. The Isdal Woman is this haunting reminder of secrets that lie in the shadows of history. Will we ever know her true identity? Or is the Isdal Woman's death been buried by those who want to keep it out? Only time will tell. Thank you for joining me on Exploring the Unsolved with Melissa. Stay focused, and most of all, please stay safe. Bye.